Hey, what's up everybody? And today we'll be talking about the crazy success of the Dire Straits. This will leave you thinking, who is the greatest British band of all time? This compelling story will show what happened behind the scenes and the creation of their hit songs. So without further ado, let's get right into it. In early 1977 in Deptford, England, a young Mark and David Knopfler make a very bold decision. They make the decision to begin a rock band. They had had many auditions and gigs with different musicians, so then they eventually created the Dire Straits lineup we know and love today. Consisting of Mark and David Knopfler on guitar, John Isley on bass and Pick Withers behind the drum kit. After a club show in 1977, a man from a record label, Vertigo Records, approached the Dire Straits and asked if they would like a 6-album deal. Of course they took it and began creating their first album. It was a self-titled album, The Dire Straits. This self-titled album was recorded in Basing Street Studios in London. The album only had a budget of approximately £12,500. But this didn't stop them from creating musical poetry that rocked the world. The Dire Straits' self-titled album was released on June 9, 1978, with hits like Sultans of Swing, Water of Love and Setting Me Up. This album sold approximately 15 million records nationwide. And this album cracked the top 10 of 1978 in the UK and the US. Let's skip ahead a little. It's 1979 and the Dire Straits are working on their second album. Communique is the second studio album by British rock band Dire Straits, released on the 5th of June 1979 by Vertigo Records internationally, Warner Brothers Records in the United States and Mercury Records in Canada. The album featured the single Lady Rider, which reached number 45 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and number 51 on the UK singles chart. The album reached number 1 on album charts in Germany, Spain, New Zealand, and Sweden, number 11 in the United States, and number 5 in the United Kingdom. Communique was later certified gold in the United States, platinum in the United Kingdom, and double platinum in France. It's October 1980, and the Dire Straits have just released their new album, called Making Movies. Making Movies is the third studio album by the Dire Straits. It was released on the 17th of October 1980 by Vertigo Records internationally. The album includes the single Romeo and Juliet, which reached number 8 on the UK singles chart, as well as Tunnel of Love, featured in the 1982 Richard Gere film An Officer and a Gentleman. Making Movies reached number 1 on the album charts in Italy and Norway, number 19 in the United States, and number 4 in the United Kingdom. Making Movies was later certified platinum in the United States and double platinum in the United Kingdom by the Recording Industry Association of America and the British Phonographic Industry, respectively. Let's go to 1982 and a new album from the Dire Straits has been released. Gold Over Love. Love Over Gold is the fourth studio album by British rock band Dire Straits, released on September 24, 1982. The album featured 2 singles, Private Investigations, which reached number 2 on the UK singles chart, and Industrial Disease, which reached number 9 on Billboard's Hot Mainstream Rock Tracks chart in the United States. The title track was never released as a single, but 2 years later a live version from Alchemy, Dire Straits Live, reached number 15 in France. And with many more hits in the Hot 100, this album helped shape the sound of the Dire Straits that we know and love today. And the album reached the top 10 in the album reached number 1 on album charts in Australia, Austria, Italy, New Zealand, Norway, so how can this not be one of the greatest British albums of all time? It's 1985, and Top Gun and The Karate Kid have just come out. Not only that, but the Dire Straits have just come out with their newest album, Brothers in Arms. Brothers in Arms is the fifth studio album by the British rock band the Dire Straits, released on the 17th of May 1985 by Vertigo Records internationally. It was the first album in history to sell over 1 million copies in CD format. Brothers in Arms spent a total of 14 non-consecutive weeks at number 1 on the UK albums chart, including 10 consecutive weeks between January 18th and March 22, 1986, 9 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 in the United States and 34 weeks at number 1 on the Australian albums chart. It was the first album to be certified 10 times platinum in the UK and is the 8th best-selling album in UK chart history. It is certified 9 times platinum in the United States by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, and is one of the world's best-selling albums, having sold more than 30 million copies worldwide. And the album won a Grammy Award in 1986 for Best Engineered Album, Non-Classical and Best British Album at the 1987 Brit Awards.
The sacred and profane.
It's 1991, and the run of the Dire Straits and Vertigo Records have come to an end, as they close out the 6th album. On Every Street is the 6th and final studio album by British rock band Dire Straits, released on September 9, 1991 by Vertigo Records internationally. The follow-up to the band's massively successful album Brothers in Arms, On Every Street reached the top of the UK albums chart and was also certified platinum by the RIAA. On Every Street was released more than 6 years after the band's previous album, Brothers in Arms. On Every Street reached number 12 in the United States and number 1 in the United Kingdom and numerous European countries. The album was produced by Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits. And this album included songs like Calling Elvis, On Every Street, When It Comes to You, and many more hit singles. By this time, the band consisted of Knopfler, John Ilsley, Alan Clark, and Guy Fletcher, and the album features session musicians including Chris White, Paul Franklin, Phil Palmer, Danny Cummings, and American drummer Jeff Porcaro from Toto, who was asked to play the band's subsequent world tour, although he declined because of other commitments, both with Toto and as a studio musician. Dire Straits promoted the album with a 14-month world tour which comprised 216 shows in Europe, North America, and Australia, sold 7.1 million tickets, and lasted from August 1991 to October 1992. 11. This was documented in the group's second live album, On the Night, which was recorded in May 1992 at Les Arènes in Nîmes, France, and at Feyenoord Stadion in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, and was released in May 1993. Dire Straits disbanded permanently in 1995, after which Mark Knopfler pursued a solo career. The album was remastered and reissued with the rest of the Dire Straits catalog in 1996 for most of the world, except for the United States, where it was reissued on September 19, 2000. The Dire Straits can be credited to be one of the greatest British bands of all time. As well as their 6 studio albums, 5 live albums, 31 singles, 15 music videos, and 100 million records sold. The run of the Dire Straits ended a long time ago when they had to disband in 1995. But they will still be known as one of the greatest British bands of all time. If you like these types of rock and roll stories, why don't you subscribe and click that notification bell so you can be notified when I post something new. Thanks for your attention, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.